Alright everyone, hope you're all doing fantastic. Now what you're looking at right here before I get into the video is I managed to navigate my way up this absolutely gigantic hill. I mean, it took me the best part of 45 minutes. Wet, boggy, grass, all that kind of stuff. Streams in between there, having to navigate all that. I didn't take the footpath, I went directly Route 1. And even though I brought my husky dog with me, didn't help me up that hill whatsoever. Even though his ancestors are what, sledge pullers? Not interested in that at all, and even though he does usually pull me around, well interested in pulling me up the hill, pulling me down the hill, totally different matter. I had my life flashing before my eyes. Anyway, that's some scenery from when I made it to the top. Now, I want to talk about how Frank Warren Queensbury have played an absolute blinder when it comes to the heavyweight division. And anybody who watches boxing will know the heavyweight division is the glamour division. It's the division to be in. And if you can own and monopolize the heavyweight division, then you pretty much run boxing. That's how it works, okay? Now, Frank Warren, of course, Queensbury, has Tyson Fury, WBC World Heavyweight Champion, along with Ring Magazine. The other champion is Oleksandr Usyk. Of course, he holds 3 of the 4 major sanctioning bodies. The 4th one being what Tyson Fury has, WBC. The other 3, WBA, IBF, WBO. Now, on the current order of things, the winner of Joshua and Usyk, which will be happening on August 20th, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, for those of you who don't know. So, what, 2.5 weeks away, something like that now? Well, the winner of that fight is either going to A, fight Tyson Fury for undisputed, or B, going by the order of things, will end up fighting Daniel Dubois. Frank Warren, Queensbury fighter, right? Then, the winner of that one will then fight the winner of Herkovich Zhang. Again, that's a matchroom. And then the winner of that one will end up fighting Joe Joyce. Again, Frank Warren, Queensbury fighter. So currently Frank Warren, Queensbury have 3 of their heavyweights in pole position right now. Now, that's not to say that at the end of these potential tournament, gauntlet, whatever it is that you want to call it, that doesn't mean that Queensbury is going to be standing tall with all the belts. Of course not, okay? They've got to get in there and do the job. But they're all in pole position. So you have to give Frank Warren Queensbury massive, massive credit. You really do. Now, you could look at it a number of ways. Some people say, but Joe Joyce, he defeated Daniel Dubois, so therefore Joe Joyce, he should get a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship, as in the winner of Joshua Usyk, before Daniel Dubois. Boxing doesn't work that way. Unfortunately, it doesn't. Now, when it comes to the order of things, up next will be the WBA, Daniel Dubois, then IBF, Herkovich Zhang, then the WBO, Joe Joyce. So Joe Joyce actually at the back of the queue, but things in boxing change all the time, right? So just because that's how it should be doesn't mean that's how it's going to be, all right? Now, let's just say, for example, Daniel Dubois, he's up next. Now, he could have a mandatory before then, the winner of Hughie Fury and Michael Hunter. That's one option. But the other one is that Daniel Dubois, he could have a tune-up, a keep busy fight, or not fight at all, okay? Whereas Daniel Dubois could end up going straight into an undisputed fight. So he could either A, fight the winner of Joshua Usyk to get the 3 belts, or he could wait for Tyson Fury to fight the winner and fight for undisputed. Daniel Dubois is in an incredible position. Incredible position. He really is. Joe Joyce, again, he could end up fighting for undisputed. Maybe the belts will fragment. However, so Frank Warren, he's in this heavyweight gauntlet for, you would say, at least the next 18 months. Maybe even longer, of course, if 1, 2, or all 3 of his heavyweights win their fights. Frank Warren's playing an absolute blinder, whereas no other promotional network have any of their other heavyweights in that position right now. Now, again, you could argue, say, well, Sauerland and Matchroom, of course, they have Herkovich as a co-promotion. Of course, they're in it. Of course. If Usyk wins and defeats Joshua, then Matchroom are out of it. Usyk's not tied down to a Matchroom contract anymore. So Usyk will be a free agent as far as UK promotional is concerned. But again, Tyson Fury, again, you know what, he could retire. Of course, that's very possible. Unlikely, though. But I think it depends on who wins between Joshua and Usyk, if I'm being honest. I think Fury would much rather fight Joshua than he would Usyk. Now, here's how I look at it. Let's just put Tyson Fury to one side. Let's just say he retires, doesn't fight the winner of Joshua Usyk. Now, when it comes to Dubois and Joe Joyce, I see it this way. Dubois has a better chance of defeating Joshua than he does Usyk. Flip that around, I think Joe Joyce has a better chance of defeating Usyk than he does Anthony Joshua. Now, again, I know people put two and two together and say, but Joe Joyce defeated Dubois. Anything Dubois does and anybody who Dubois defeats, Joe Joyce defeats. Doesn't work that way, okay? This isn't a computer game, this isn't Mortal Kombat. You don't take the souls of all those before and after. Doesn't work that way. Stylistically, that's how I see it. Of course, drop your comments below. Do you agree with me or disagree with me on that one? But Queensbury are in an incredible position. They really are. As I said before, unfortunately, Boxer Sky Sports are not in that position right now. But again, they've only been going for a year. You've got Dennis Hobson. He doesn't have any heavyweights up there yet, although Cash Ali, he was ranked quite high in the IBF the previous month. This month, he's been removed. I don't know why. I don't know what's happened there. I'm presuming something to do with IBF sanction fees. But Queensbury and Matchroom are the only ones who really have those pole positions. But if Usyk defeats Joshua, Matchroom are out of it. In theory, Filipovic and Kalinisa Sauerland, Wasserman, could say, you know what, we're not going to work with Matchroom anymore. See you later. And they could end up fighting on a Queensbury show. They could end up fighting on Channel 5. Listen, you don't know. But again, it depends on what money is available, I suppose. But fantastic, absolutely fantastic for Queensbury and Frank Warren to have done what they've done. And they've done the most simplest of things. And I called this months before it even happened. Somebody needs to fight Bogdan Dinu and defeat Bogdan Dinu. At that particular time, a year ago, Bogdan Dinu was number 1 in the WBA. And of course, I knew the WBA was up next. Somehow Bogdan Dinu, at that particular moment, lost 2 fights. He lost to Big Baby Jaramillo, lost to Kubrat Pulev, and defeated 2 journeymen, yet found himself at number 1 in the WBA. Somebody needed to take him out. Frank Warren saw the opportunity, put Dubois straight in there. It's a genius move. It's a very simple move, but it's a genius move. Quite how all other promoters missed that one is beyond me. I really don't know. But either way, I mean, to go back onto the point, again, Joe Joyce, where does he go? In the meantime, because he's going to be waiting for quite some time, does he take on stiff opposition, potentially lose? If you're Queensbury, what you would do is you would make sure Dubois doesn't fight anybody who could potentially beat him. Same with Joe Joyce. Potentially somebody who doesn't beat him. You keep them in that position. Also, what you do is you keep Dubois and Joe Joyce away from each other as far as a rematch is concerned. Because obviously, then you're eliminating the other one. Why would you want to do that? Because again, what happens if, for example, Dubois gets his world title shot and loses? Well, Joe Joyce steps in, if that makes sense. So anyway, listen, I've yabbered on too much about it. It's just something that crossed my mind, that Frank Warren could quite literally be the kingpin of the heavyweight division and literally own it. It could happen. There again, may not. His fighters may get the shot, but ultimately come short. Anyway, my thoughts, you drop me yours, click thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video.